This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Amanda Bauer. It's Wednesday, April 27. In Squiz Kids Today, a tale of two stock markets. Scotland's whisky-powered cars, Paddy Mills and Daniel Ricciardo are two good sports, and fake child soldiers in Ukraine. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
For those of you starting to learn about percentages, 2% probably doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking about the Australian Stock Exchange dropping almost 2% in value yesterday, that means a loss of $50 billion, that's billion with a B, in one day. Slow down, Amanda, I hear you cry. What's a stock market? Well, it's a place where people buy and sell shares or little pieces of companies. Companies offer these shares for sale so they can get money to improve their businesses. If a company is doing well, or if people think it will do well in the future, they buy the shares, and that makes the price go up. If a company is doing badly, or people think it will, its price goes down. Yesterday, share prices of Aussie companies that work in energy and mining dropped, largely because of fears that COVID-19 lockdowns in China will mean that Chinese companies buy less of Australian iron ore and other products. But over in America, the stock market went crazy after it was announced that Tesla and SpaceX billionaire Elon Musk was going to buy the social media platform Twitter for a whopping 61.4 billion Australian dollars. That made Twitter's share price go up, and it was joined by lots of other companies whose shares are sold on the American Stock Exchange. A good share day in America, not so good in Australia. Stock markets are like that.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a new story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Scotland, where whisky-powered cars have started driving on local streets. Scotland is famous for its whisky, which is made primarily from barley, and every day Scottish distilleries make and ship almost 4 million bottles all over the world. Each year, that whisky-making process also produces 684,000 metric tonnes of solid waste and over 2 billion litres of liquid waste. Some of it's fed to animals, but a lot was just dumped until a biofuel scientist had a brilliant idea. Turn the whisky byproducts into environmentally friendly fuel for cars. A test car is already zooming around using whisky biofuel. I wonder if its exhaust smells like a cocktail. I've popped an animation of how the biofuel process works into your episode notes.
Sport time.
The Commonwealth Games get underway on July 28 in Birmingham, England, and over the coming months we'll be hearing lots about who's made the Aussie team. Yesterday, Sydney boxer Tina Rahimi made history with her selection as the first Muslim woman to box for Australia, just 4 years after her very first fight. There are 11 members of the boxing team, and 8 of them will be going to their first ever games. Tina, who's 26, was working as a makeup artist when she started boxing, and she says she's never been afraid of getting punched. I'll pop a link in your episode notes to some video footage of her fighting. She is fierce. In other sporting news, 2 Aussies scored points for sportsmanship over the weekend. Paddy Mills, who's a guard for the Brooklyn Nets basketball team, won the NBA's Sportsmanship Award for 2021-22. And on Sunday, Formula One driver Daniel Ricciardo was praised for his classy apology to Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz, whose car he accidentally hit on the first lap, causing Sainz to leave the race. Ricciardo said he felt terrible, and Sainz said there were no hard feelings. It's Wednesday, which means that Squizzy the News Hound is back in the studio to tell us about misinformation he sniffed out online. And this week, his nose started twitching as soon as he saw a tweet from the American TV news station CNN about brave Ukrainian children signing up to fight in the war against Russia. Squizzy thought that was fishy, not just because he remembered that fake accounts had been created before to impersonate CNN, but also because he would be very surprised if responsible journalists would use positive language like brave if children were being recruited into a deadly war. Squizzy used his newshound skills and learned that the story was a fake and not posted by CNN. The photo of kids in uniform that was used on social media was taken in 2017 at a summer camp. So, why was this fake created? Squizzy says there are two main reasons, and they're both about damaging reputations. If you didn't stop, think and check, you'd have a very poor opinion of the Ukrainian army for taking in child soldiers and of the Western media for being positive about kids going to war. Thanks for making sure we don't fall for misinformation, Squizzy.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. Which sport will Tina Rahimi represent Australia in? That's right, boxing. Question number 2. Which social media platform is billionaire Elon Musk buying? That's right, he's plonking down cash for Twitter. And question number 3. Where are scientists using whisky byproducts to power cars? You got it. It's in Scotland.
Shout outs.
It's April 27, Freedom Day in South Africa, where on April 27, 1994, the country held its first free democratic elections for all its citizens. If you want to learn more about South Africa, including the Big 5 animals, its 11 official languages, and the history of apartheid, check out this week's episode of Squiz the World. I'll put a link in your episode notes to a free trial of our fabulous special episodes. Because who doesn't want more Squiz Kids in their life? Today is also a special day for Jennifer from Forest Lake, Addison from Glengarry, Ellie from Clifton Hill, and Georgina from Yass. Happy birthday, all of you. And because a bunch of you celebrated your birthday over the Easter holidays, we've got a backlog of belated birthday shout-outs which we'll be working our way through all this week. Zoe from Concord West, Maxwell from Thornside, Lucas from Helensvale, George from Abbotsford, Andrew from Forest Lake, Lyra from Brighton, Alan from Ringwood North, Caleb from Shell Harbour, Estelle from Warrigal, Casey from Ashmont, Leah and Addison from Melbourne, Sven from Cannon Hill, Kaizen from Innaloo, Nora from the Blue Mountains, Eleanor from Wingham, Bodie from Mansfield, and Jemima from St James. And classroom shout-outs today go to Miss Green and Class 2G at Ambervale Public School, Miss Fairclough and Class Bandar at Quirindi Public School, and to the Year 5s in Room 7 at Bicton Primary School with their teacher, Mrs Bonwick. Finally, a special shout-out to my friends Clara and Abby, who are most excellent road trip companions. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you want a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. That's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. Bryce will be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.